Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. We are back. It's good to be back. Well, that was an entertaining night of boxing for sure, for sure. Let me know when y'all in the chat. We're getting started. That was a ton of boxing on today. I'm glad we had it. I've been watching boxing for about 12 hours now, I guess. I started watching the Boxer card on the Peacock stream. That started around 1, and now we're 1 in the morning my time. That is a lot of boxing. I think the judges ultimately got it right, although the scorecards were all over the place, all over the place in rounds. I was talking to people, we're scoring every round differently. You saw Porter had it wide, and like it was a really difficult fight to score. But at the end, I do think the judges got the scores right. I thought Crawford won it. I thought Crawford just edged it. He just nicked it, as they say in the UK. I thought Crawford did enough. I thought he won 6 of the last 7 rounds. And this is the part that's driving people crazy, is that I had Crawford, Madrimov winning 1, 2, 4, and 5. I had him winning 4 of the first 5 rounds. I had Madrimov up 4 rounds to 1. I was like, yo, Crawford's got to get cooking. He's got to win 6 of the next 7 rounds. And that's exactly what I had him doing. I had him winning, so what is that? 6, 7, 8, losing 9, winning 10, 11, 12. So I had Crawford doing what he needed to get done. What a night. Didn't win, but I don't care. I enjoyed the fight. Sorry about that, Rocket. I hit on my parlay today partially because of the draw. It doesn't pay out in full, but I still hit the lock of the week with the draw in Ruiz and Big Baby. I'm back in Miami, says Rocket. It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. That was a good fight. I want to know how everyone had scored. I thought Crawford won. I could see a wide array of scores. I could see I had 7-5 Crawford for full to be clear, I had 7-5 Crawford. Again, I had Madrimov winning the fight early. I had Crawford having to rally late, but I'm interested in seeing how y'all scored each round as well. If you took my advice, you did really well. The things I locked up, like Rayo, I told y'all Rayo was going to win. The one thing I got wrong, obviously, was Jared Big Baby Anderson. I was all in on Anderson. I loved Anderson to win that fight, and then obviously he got absolutely destroyed. He is not the next American great. I don't understand how you get hit. Where was his movement? Where was his athleticism? What was he doing, man? Like, I was just utterly disappointed with him in that performance. I thought Jared Anderson was much more capable than that, much more athletic, much better mover, and it just wasn't going well for him today. No question about that. What's up, DB boxing fan, my man? 7 rounds for Crawford. Yeah, I thought Crawford won. I thought it was very close. It was very competitive. Crawford never really got cooking, and that's a credit to Madrimov. One thing I did notice was that Madrimov definitely seemed like the bigger guy. There was, I think, a size and strength noticeable disadvantage. I never noticed that welterweight for Crawford. I thought Crawford fit in that welterweight just fine, but he carried the weight well. At 54, he's going to be small. 54 back in the day when I was growing up in the 90s and early 2000s, 54 was a division where it was mostly aging 147-pounders that just didn't want to make the weight anymore. So they went to 54. De La Hoya, Trinidad, guys like that. They just didn't want to Mosley. They just didn't want to make that. They want to kill themselves to make 47. So they went to 54. Now it's middleweight shrinking down, right? Like now it's 160-pounders shrinking down. And Crawford said this after the fight. Like Madrimov could fight at 160. Madrimov could easily fight at 160. He might be able to fight at 168. That's a big boy right there fighting at 54 who made the weight, carried it. I thought fought well, but to be fair, yeah, buddy, I took Rayo 101 on 20 parlay. There you go. I had Rayo. I suggested everyone take Rayo. I thought that was a good bet. I was excited for that bet. Rayo is a lot. I'm surprised he stayed as disciplined as he did. I really am. I thought it would end in a knockout. And I thought Rayo would probably knock him out. But I said, look, yeah, this is a 50-50 fight in which Rayo is paying plus 330. Make the bet. And then, I figured if Rayo won, he had to box well. I didn't expect him to stay that disciplined and be able to box that well from the outside for as long as he did. That was extremely impressive what he did. That was extremely impressive the way that he was able to box and stay disciplined throughout. He never really got engaged. He never got into a firefight. I thought for sure at some point a firefight was going to ensue. Absolutely. So I'm glad that we can hit the lock of the week again. We've been hitting it every single week again, which is good. Jarrett opponent has a punch. Bacoli, he can punch, man. Bacoli's a big dude, but Crawford has a chin. Damn, man. He's chasing greatness. Say what you want. Yeah, look, he's a 4-division world champ. He's fighting the best guys out there. We wanted to see Boots. Didn't get made. This was a fine consolation prize. I know Madrimov's not the biggest name in the world, but Madrimov is a top-notch fighter. He's a really, 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 really good fighter. So I have, this is a great fight. Not only did I not have a problem with that fight, I like the fight. I encourage the fight. What do you guys want to see Crawford do next? And I don't want to ask stupid questions, but it was mentioned over and over and over and over again in the telecast. Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Is that something any of y'all are interested in, or is it too much of a mismatch? Do we see what happens when Crawford fights a guy too big for him? And he won today. And I thought he won, but this was not the Crawford that we've gotten used to. This is not the Crawford that we've gotten acclimated to. This was a different Crawford. Crawford. This was a Crawford that looked smaller. It looked like he's in with a bigger man. Now he got it done, but it was hairy at times. At times I didn't know. I thought, oh man, this is the one step too far. This is the one bridge too far for Crawford. You want to see him become undisputed at 54? No, not Canelo. G-Man says. Yeah, I don't want to see the Canelo fight either. Look, if they make it, I'll buy it. But it's not what I would make. Let's look at the 154-pound landscape. Let's look at that. One second. I want to get this pulled up for y'all. Crawford, DB says Crawford needs to stop trying to fight Canelo. He will get killed. Yeah, no, I agree. It's not something that I would encourage. I'm a guy that says, hey, pick a weight class, stick with it, become the best guy in the weight class, clean out the weight class, beat all comers in that weight class, and after you clean out everyone in the weight class, then move up or stay there and beat everyone twice. I'm a guy. There are 17 weight classes. Pick one and stick with it. He moved up in weight. What did y'all say? No, I agree, Rocket. It makes sense, especially when you saw him in the ring. Madrimov was clearly the bigger man. I'm not downgrading or degrading the performance by Crawford. I thought it was an excellent performance. I was not expecting to see that kind of size advantage for Madrimov, but he was clearly the bigger man. Too much weight. I agree, says DB Boxing Fan. G-Man 7 says, Boots going to go up. Virgil Sheik said, yeah, Boots is going to go up. Virgil still never held the belt. Virgil Ortiz and Ryan Garcia, top ranks two guys. Golden Boy's two guys still haven't had belts. So that's a poor job by Golden Boy. Your two guys, your two moneymakers, never gotten a belt. Hawk, my man, is in the house. Hawk, did you watch the Crawford fight? How did you score it if you did? How did you score that fight? Did you have Crawford winning? There's a lot of people saying it's a robbery, but no one up in here seems to think Madrimov won. So, I thought the fight was good. I thought it was competitive. I had Madrimov winning the fight early, but ultimately I had Crawford dominating the last half of the fight, which was the difference to me. I had him winning 6 of the last 7 rounds, and I had him winning 7-5 after I had a Madrimov with an early lead. Let's take a look at that 154-pound division. Can we just be real? The fight I want to see is Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz fights, I think, next week, right? So I want to see Virg, and that's what I want to see. Let's make that. There are other fights we can make. Fundora, Zoo. There are definitely fights. Charlo is going back to 54. Does anyone want to see that? Crawford and Mel? Is that sexy to anyone? I want to see Virgil Ortiz. I want to see Virgil Ortiz fight him, or I want to see Virgil fight on Jamel Charlo. No robbery Hayes out here. No lie. Yeah, there was, to me, there was definitely no robbery. If you want to really make an argument for MADRIMOV getting a draw or getting 7 rounds, you could probably make that argument. I want to go back and watch this because it's like the rounds I was scoring. Like everyone's getting different rounds. Like usually, like there's 9, 10 rounds that we can agree on, and then there's 2 or 3 rounds that we flip. This was like every round, everyone had different winners for the rounds. I saw 3-0 Crawford. I'm like, what? I got 2-1 MADRIMOV. I had a 4-1 MADRIMOV after 5, and I had people saying 3-2 Crawford. It's like, wow. Is any 2 people here watching the same fight? Crawford fights too much in the southpaw stance. I didn't like that. He's naturally right-handed. He's a conventional fighter. I like seeing him fight a little more in the conventional stance. Hawk says, I only watched a few rounds at the end. Seemed like Crawford was controlling the fight. Yeah, if you only watched the second half of the fight, I would agree. Thank you, Hawk. It seemed like, but I had it 4-1 after 5 for MADRIMOV. And then Crawford, I thought dominated the second half of the fight, but the first half I thought was dominated. Not dominated, but the rounds were won by MADRIMOV. He wasn't dominating. He wasn't hurting them. He was just winning the rounds early because Crawford really wasn't throwing. And he wasn't landing. MADRIMOV was landing early. But, the second half of the fight, if you only saw the second half, I think you'd get the impression that Crawford won. Look, I think Crawford won the fight. If you had it 6-6, I can live with that. 7-5 MADRIMOV. I mean, the rounds were close, but I thought Crawford won on my card for me. 154 to 168 is no go for Crawford. Had tough times in the fight. Imagine that many pounds more. Yeah, I don't want to see that again. I'm gonna, if they put it on, I will buy it like an idiot. I will pay for it. You'll get my $80. They'll probably charge $5,000 for it. You'll get my $5,000. But it's not the fight I want to see. There's so many fights at 54. Have a fight Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos will beat him. I'm going to put that out right now. Jesus Ramos or Virgil Ortiz would beat Terrence Crawford at 54. At a certain point, they have weight classes for a reason, man. And this is Crawford's fourth weight class. Y'all said, not y'all, but many of y'all out there in the boxing world said that 47 was a step too far. The guys at 47 were killers, and he was going to Porter and Danny Garcia and Crawford and Thurman and yada, yada, yada. The guys just got too big, and he ran through that division, literally stopped everyone in his way. So 47 wasn't a bridge too far, but I'm telling you, he looked small in there today. And the other guys in that division, Ramos, Virgil Ortiz, them boys is bigger too. Them boys is big. Virgil should be fighting at 60. I truly believe that. Virgil and Ramos and like those guys, Tim Zhu, them boys is big. You look at the division, Jamel Charlo, that's a big boy. Tim Zhu, big boy. Fedora, 6'7". He's built a little different. He negated the jab with the left. That's true. That's true. But he also didn't look good offensively. You're right about that, G-Man. He did. So defensively, he did a lot of things well. Offensively, he just didn't look like the same fighter, and he never really seemed in rhythm up until kind of in the last 2 rounds. But still, he didn't look like the Crawford of old. And maybe it's because he's 36, and maybe it's because he's fighting a much bigger guy. But he just didn't look good to me in those last couple of rounds. Up until the last couple of rounds. And I had him winning and getting closer, but he was still getting caught. And he really wasn't putting his shots together and really picking apart. And I know MADRIMOV is A, a lot bigger than him, and B, elusive. He's a little slippery in there. Like, he's not easy to corner and trap, right? Like, he's a difficult guy to hit clean, I suppose. I got to go back and watch the full fight, Hawk says. Yeah, if you can, go watch it. I mean, the first half of the fight, I'll be honest, it's boring, right? But, like, you got to give the rounds to someone. And I was giving them to MADRIMOV. If you didn't, like Porter, then you're going to have it wide. But Porter's also best friends with Crawford, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. World of Wrestling says, I think Cruz won that fight. I could see that. You thought Cruz won the fight. Okay. I can see that, World of Wrestling. I don't mind that as a take. 115, 113 Crawford, I had it. Yeah, how else? I want to see everyone's scorecard. I had it 115, 113 Crawford, just like boxing. Did y'all have it? I had it on my card 7-5, which I think people are fine with. But interestingly, I had MADRIMOV winning all of the early rounds and Crawford winning all of the late rounds. So I'm interested in seeing how y'all had it round by round. What's next for Crawford? Well, Crawford only fights once a year. So we're not going to see Crawford again until, I would say, this time next year. So what's next for him? It's tough because who's going to be I think he stays at 154. And it depends on who's a champion at that time. Right now, I would say somebody like Fundora could be next. That's possible. I think Jamel Charlo could be next. I think Virgil Ortiz could be next. My guess is, and this is just a guess, the next time you see Crawford in the ring, he'll be fighting Virgil Ortiz. That's my guess. I don't have any inside information on that. I wouldn't bet money on that. My instinct is that Virgil Ortiz is going to pick up a belt, and that fight's relatively easy to make. It's a big money fight, and I think you get Virgil Ortiz and Terrence Crawford next. Just my guess. A lot of people say Boots. A lot of people say Mel. What do you guys think? Who do you think? Again, Crawford only fights once a year, so the entire landscape could change. If Zoo and Fundora rematch again, Zoo's going to win the rematch. Obviously, Zoo's going to win the rematch. And we're all going to, if you're saying Fundora now, you're not going to say Fundora after Zoo beats him in the rematch. You're going to want Zoo. So I'm saying by the next time Crawford fights, the entire landscape might change. I saw Cruz fight Venezuela. I saw Cruz fight where Venezuela was fighting like Forster did and got screwed, but Cruz was connected and hurt. Yeah, I think this fight was definitely closer than the Oshaki Forster fight was. The Oshaki Forster fight was that was simply a crime. Like, there's no question about it. The Pitbull Cruz and Rayo fight was a lot more competitive. I thought Valenzuela won, but I'm hearing. Not a lot, but I'm hearing a healthy minority of people saying what World of Wrestling is saying, that they thought Pitbull Cruz won that fight. I'm getting a lot of people saying that. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a competitive fight. I thought Rayo won the fight. But I said before the fight happened, I said this is a good fight to bet Rayo on. It's an even fight. It's a 50-50 type fight on paper to me. And when you have a 50-50 fight, and one guy is paying plus 330, bet on that guy to win. Like, it's not worth it to bet on the guy who's a minus 425 or minus 450 or whatever your book had Pitbull at. It's just not worth it. To lay down $400 and something to win $100 on a 50-50 fight, it's just not worth it. So I said to put your money on Rayo. It came through. If he lost, if the decision would have went the other way, it's still not a bad bet. Rayo, G-Man says Rayo won. That's how I had it. Did anyone else have Rayo? Did anyone have Pitbull beating Rayo? When you first said Cruz, I was thinking Andy Cruz. I was like, yeah, clearly Andy Cruz won the fight. They're not Pitbull Cruz. I feel like an idiot. Yeah, that was an extremely long day of boxing. The hour in between the Pitbull Cruz fight and the main event was ridiculous. Like, I'm trying to get to bed. I'm trying to do things. No, I'd be lying if I said I have a life. I have to wake up. I'm going to church in the morning. Like, why does this got to go on for so long? Like, it ended at what time did it end? If you're on the East Coast, like 1:45 in the morning. Like, it's enough. Like, let's just get to the card and get on. So I'm gonna go live again tomorrow for y'all. I'm gonna take a look. We're gonna take a sneak peek at what's ahead for next week. I'm going to be going live tomorrow, so catch me live. I haven't really even looked at the lines yet for next week. I was so occupied on this week, and there was a lot of good money to make this week. There was a lot of good money. Early on, the Conor Coyle fight, I was telling everyone, please take Conor Coyle to go over. Take the over. Take Conor Coyle by decision. Conor Coyle by decision. Then, it was just it was. The Joe Laws fight with McKenna was fun. If you took McKenna by knockout, like I told you to, you made some money. Although he almost got knocked out himself in the first round. So that was an interesting fight. So it was a good day to make money all around. Yeah, I want to get to this TGE. I want to get to this. I was shocked by Anderson's loss. I thought he was going to move around the ring and finish his opponent. He really should drop down to light heavyweight. You want Anderson? I was shocked. I thought, I'm confused by that comment, World of Wrestling. That Prince betting money. Yeah, he is. Turkey Al-Sheikh. Look, two things. I'm not going to call him His Excellency. I'm going to call him Turkey. I'll call him Mr. Al-Sheikh out of respect. That's fine. But I'm not calling another man His Excellency. If he wants me to call him His Excellency, he has to call me handsome and smart. If he doesn't address me as handsome and smart, then I'm not calling him His Excellency. He's a man. I'm a man. I'll shake your hand. I'll look you in the eye. I'll call you sir. I'll call you mister. I'm not going to call you His Excellency. It's just absurd to me. And Jake Donovan pointed this out. If you guys follow Jake Donovan on Twitter, he tweeted, the ass kissing in boxing has reached a new level. Something along those lines. Like, yeah, it's really over the top. His Excellency? No, you call me handsome and good looking. You're handsome and smart, and then I'll call you his. This is just crazy. Thank you, G-Man. Thank you. Thank you, DB. He was hitting like a light heavyweight, while Martin was hitting him like a true heavyweight. Yo, Martin can take a shot. Martin is a bull. This is one of I just got wrong. I thought Anderson would move too much for him. Yo, he's 250 pounds. Like heavyweights weigh 175. I don't think Jared Anderson moved down, but yeah, he was. Because the power was insane, and then he was sitting trading with him. Like, dude, this dude, I was wrong. I thought Anderson hit just as hard as Bacoli did. Clearly, that was insane to think. He does not. You're looking at the knockout ratio, and you look at some of the cool knockouts Anderson has. You're thinking he's just as big a hitter as Bacoli. Clearly, he's not. And then when they started trading shots, I'm like, yo, you're hitting like a Toyota Prius, and he's hitting like a Mack truck. If you guys sit there and trade punches, who do you think is going to win this? Like, Jared Anderson, move, use the ring, use your athleticism. My God, that was not good. Like, sitting there and trading with a guy who's got you by 40 pounds and hits like a Mack truck when you're hitting like a Toyota Prius, like, this is not going to end well for you, my man. And it certainly did not. I'm also interested in the Andy Ruiz fight. This seemed to spark a lot of debate. Andy Ruiz, Big Baby Miller. I had it even. I had it a draw, 6 rounds to 6, 114, just like two of the judges. I'm agreeing with the judges today. I agree with 2 of the 3 judges in the Crawford fight, 115, 113 Crawford, and then in this fight, 114. In the Ruiz fight, 114, 114 as well. 114, 114. For a draw. How did y'all have Ruiz and Big Baby? Guys, I gotta wrap this up. So my brain, I'll try to stay on for some of y'all. If y'all stay active in the chat, y'all super chat me thoughts, comments. I will say. Otherwise, I gotta wrap this up. My brain is fried. I've been watching boxing nonstop between the Olympics and now this. I've been watching just like nothing but boxing. But how did y'all have it? I thought the draw was fine. Again, that was a fight where I thought Ruiz won all the early rounds. I had about 4 rounds to nothing, and then you saw Miller chip away at that lead. Andy Ruiz broke his hand. I'm guessing it played a role to some degree, although him being fat as hell too also plays a role in that as well. G-Man says, I think he was a spoiled, not like Punk wants everything to play with him in the sandbox. He brought juice. Fair enough. I mean, Mike Tyson would have knocked Martin out. I had Miller over Ruiz. You had Miller winning. Yeah, Mike Tyson would knock Martin out. That's true. For sure. Why do you feel that way, DB Box? I mean, look. Why do you feel that way? Why is it F the Olympics? Oh, because of the dude beating up the chicks? Is that why? The guy with the cock and the balls beating up the woman? Is that all right? Is that what you're talking about? I can live with that take. It's not right. Look, I don't understand the whole thing. She was born with a vagina and a penis. I don't understand him, her, it. I don't know. I'm getting different stories. From what I understand, I don't know that he or she is not transgendered. Um, I don't know. They're saying can someone explain this to me? She has an XY chromosome. He has a Y chromosome, which makes him a he. But he also has a vagina, but he has a vagina and he has a penis. I don't know, man. This is way too confusing for me, man. I don't understand. I know that his testosterone, hers, whatever, testosterone is too high. He should be in the opening ceremony, triggered a lot of people. That you had that openly mock Christians, and then you have this. I don't know, man. There was a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on in this Olympics. Why can't we just have sport? Yeah, okay. That's a man. It looks like a man. Like I don't know what to say. He, her, whatever has testosterone. I think he has balls. He has a Y chromosome. I don't know, man. Does that look like a man or does it look like a woman to you? And I get we've all been confused at times. Like it's Pat walks by and we don't really know. I don't know. It looked like a man to me. That's all I know. I would never ever watch the Olympics. Complete joke. You ever watch you ever watch the basketball? Nothing, Hawk. Can someone explain this boxer from Al Jazeera? Is it? I don't want to get into this. Yeah, she should not be boxing against women. I agree 100%. Let's face it, he was in it. Let's face it, he was an it, not a he or a she. I mean, I'm not trying to. From what I understand, it's yeah. Like I agree, that should not be happening. And the people who say, "Oh, it's no big deal." If you had a daughter, would you want your daughter getting punched in the face by the he/she thing? Come on now, like, come on. Hawk, see, I'm telling y'all, Hawk is a real one. Hawk is a big Jets fan, and we watch the same YouTube channel, Jake Asman, check him out. But Hawk is a real one. I've been trying to tell y'all this. Hawk is a real one. Instant boycott with the opening ceremony. I'm not even that religious. Yeah, I mean, they're mocking people. Obviously, they're mocking Christians. That was the entire intent of that. I don't want to get onto it, but that's obviously what they're doing. I was just reading Luke today in chapter 21, and I was just reading it today. I'm going through the Gospels, and I'm studying Luke right now. And in Luke 21, it says, "They will hate you because you follow me," and that's what we're seeing. Like they hate Christians because we follow Christ, and Jesus said, "If they hated you, they hated me first." So this is to be expected, but that doesn't make it right. Hawk says, not to mention the whole letting dudes beat on chicks. Yeah, like the mocking, whatever. I knew that was coming. They didn't like Jesus. They killed Jesus. I knew they weren't going to like me. That the Bible says mockers will come in the last day, and redemption is God's, and leave that for God. So, but the dude beating up chicks, like I can't turn a blind eye to that. You have a dude with a cock and a balls beating up a chick. I can't have it. Just joined live. Who did you think won? Madrimov versus CRAWFORD. I had, yep, 79 pros. Thank you for joining. That's exactly how I had it. I had it 7-5 CRAWFORD as well. I'm interested in your scorecard. I had given 4 of the first 5 rounds to Madrimov, and then I had CRAWFORD basically dominating 6 of the last 7 rounds. But I had the same score you did: 7-5, 115, 113. For CRAWFORD. DB boxing fan says, Hawk, I'm with you 100%. Let's go, Jets. Oh, DB's a Jets fan and a boxing fan. See, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. Yeah, from what I've heard, 79 pros is that most people, most observers, I'm getting that scorecard over and over and over again. 7-5 Crawford seems to be the right score. The way people got there really varies. Like I said, there's usually like 9 or 10 rounds that we can agree on who won that round. Like this shouldn't be that hard unless you're Steve Weisfeld or Lou Moretti, one of the Morettis. Like it's not that hard to score these fights. But I'm seeing rounds all over the place, but everyone is basically getting the 7-5 Crawford, which is interesting. I think 7-5 Crawford is the right score. All right, it is. It's almost 1:30 in the morning my time. I gotta wrap this up. If you guys have any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, leave them now. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up. Here we go. 79 pros. 150 on the Crawford money. There you go. Lost my ass on a parlay to win 150 because Morrell couldn't get the stoppage. Yeah, not only could he not get the stoppage, Hot Rod made that super close too. Like Hot Rod, I said Hot Rod was a real one, and I told everyone to take the over on that. I said Hot Rod's not getting knocked out quickly. Hot Rod Kalachik is a good fighter. He's a legit fighter. He's going to make this a fight. I was not expecting him to be that competitive. They had it fairly wide. You could have had that fight close, man. You could have that close. There were some rounds that they gave to Morrell, which you could have gave to Hot Rod. That fight was way more interesting than anyone thought. I thought Hot Rod was good. Appreciate you, bro. See you on the next one. Appreciate that, Boxman. Hawk, my man, go to bed. I'm going to bed. It's like I said, it's 1:30 my time. I got church in the morning. I will go live tomorrow. We will take a look at what's ahead. Not sure what time, but I will go live tomorrow. Appreciate you, Hawk. Appreciate y'all. It is July 20. No. It's not July 20 something. It's August 4th, 2024. From Texas to the world. Thank you and God bless.